Let's put the spotlight on Pidilite Industries. While this time the numbers were in line to the street estimate, but it's the volume growth that really cheered the investors. So let's talk more on that. We are being joined by Sudhanshu Vats, who is the Managing Director of Pidilite Industries. Hi, Mr. Sudhanshu, and thank you so much for your time. First up, on your volume growth. Your volume growth has been 10% on a YOY basis in terms of the growth that we have seen. And obviously, this has been aided by the B2B and the consumer bazaar segment. So how is the demand trend and the client confidence looking like? Give us some sense over there.
We have delivered double-digit underlying volume growth at Pidilite. Our portfolio tends to straddle both B2C and B2B and urban and rural. So the strength of the portfolio is fully in play in this quarter. I think the second thing which we have done and consistently been doing is the investments we have made behind our brands and distribution. Similarly, our continued investment behind distribution. So if you look at our PKDs, which is our expansion into rural distribution, we further added 1,000 plus PKDs to take the total count of Pidilite Ki Dunia, which are our flagship stores in rural and urban India, to 16,000 plus. And in all of this, we keep an eye on how to keep ourselves agile, continue to invest behind supply chain, and build on our digital journey. Our digital sales continues to show progress, and we are now upwards of 1/3 of our digital sales coming from our Pidilite app called Genie. So I think it's a combination of a lot of these things which has enabled Pidilite to deliver a double-digit underlying volume growth. And once again, let me tell you, like we have always maintained, this is our underlying volume growth, which is where we are taking the quality of volume into account as well. If you were to compare it to total volume growth or simple volume growth, that number indeed is upwards of 20%.
Okay, and your gross margins also expanded close to around 54.3% this time because the input prices have stabilized a bit. But going forward, what's the trajectory you anticipate on the raw material prices and the margins?
Pidilite has always maintained that we will deliver double-digit profitable underlying volume growth. And as you would remember, over a long period of time, we have guided our EBITDA margins in a range of 20 to 24%. So we remain committed to this long-term guidance. Quarter to quarter, year to year, you will see us making investments which are necessary for growing the market, for addressing the new needs of India or some of our international markets as we go there. And therefore, I think suffice to say, we stay committed to the long-term guidance which we have given on our EBITDA margins. And we have given that range very clearly between 20 and 24%. This time around, as you saw, we are on the higher end of the range. We will stay committed to delivering in this range.
All right, but let's also talk about some of the RM prices fluctuations that the company has been witnessing of late, and specifically on the VAM prices. What is the outlook going ahead? Are you expecting some more correction? Moreover, what was the average VAM consumption rates during the quarter?
So VAM prices continue to remain benign for last 2 to 3 quarters. I think we also see them in similar range moving forward. I think on your specific question on the quarter which has gone by, the consumption has been close to about $900 is the consumption at which the VAM prices consumption has been for us.
Okay, so that was about the raw material prices as well as VAM, and how do you see that one trending going forward? But what about the competition? Because clearly the paint companies are also getting into waterproofing now, impacting your market share in any way?
So we have delivered again in waterproofing mid-teens growth. We are very happy with the growth that we've delivered in waterproofing. I think our belief in waterproofing has always been that the task is twofold. Actually, if you ask me, the bigger task is to continue to grow the market. Because as you know, 4 out of 10 homes in India are still not doing waterproofing. And the ones that are doing may not be waterproofing adequately on surfaces and in the right manner. So I think the opportunity here is to actually develop the market and grow the market. And therefore, we look at how are we performing as a company, how is our brand performing, and how are our growths. And as you would always remember, when it comes to waterproofing, it is always doctor fix it.
Well, so if we look at some of your international subsidiaries, then they have seemed to be reporting modest sales growth with global macro uncertainties also lying there. So how is the medium-term outlook looking like?
See, the global geopolitical situation, the oil situation, and certain uncertainties do remain. But once again, I'm happy to share with you that Pidilite has navigated a lot of this quite successfully. Let me just give you one example. If you look at just our neighbors, Bangladesh, and as you know, we have operations in Bangladesh. We have 2 plants. We've been there for a long time. We enjoy good positions and good market shares. Let me once again tell you that in the quarter that has gone by, we have delivered double-digit growths in Bangladesh as well. So I think on the whole, our international markets, we will stay focused in the markets where we want to be, which is in South Asia. We will continue to explore Africa. We are doing building Middle East. So these things will continue. I think quarter to quarter numbers, we can read into them, but from our point of view, we are making very good progress in international markets as well.
Okay, holding on to what's happening in Bangladesh despite the geopolitical tension there. But Sudhanshu, before I let you go, just help us understand what the key expectations are from the budget this time. Anything for the real estate sector or for mass consumption that you're watching out for?
See, budget is always a big phenomena in India. Everybody talks about it for quite some time. We look forward to it. But progressively, budgets are becoming more and more predictable, which is a good thing for a company that is developed, for a country that is, growing and developing. I think from the upcoming budget, there are 2 or 3 things we would look forward to and we are very hopeful about. I think one is Finance Minister's ability to put more money in the hands of Indian middle class or all Indians, ideally, if you ask me. The second, and therefore there could be some relaxation on personal income tax, and I think that would be welcome because it will spur demand. I think the second piece from our point of view as a company, I think the continued momentum or acceleration in that momentum in investments in infrastructure would be very, very helpful because growth in infrastructure has a clear impact on the growth of our business.
All right, with this, Mr. Watson, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us on the earnings and also giving us and sharing the outlook going ahead.